Welcome back to the Berg Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. Today we've got myself, Brian. With me is Ford.
Hey, how are you?
And Dan.
Hey, everybody.
And we're talking about family gatherings. And more specifically, we just came through a little bit of a holiday weekend here. And each one of us had a different variation of what Easter looked like. So,
yeah, Easter. It's a great time. You know, Day of the Lord is risen for people that believe that. And it's also a time to get family together, which is always wonderful.
Fort's just getting into the whole family with kids, you know, and having to do those kids part of the celebration. So he was talking about the Easter egg hunt, which for my family, the Easter bunny does not hide the Easter eggs. You know, they still bring the basket, which that was a whole other discussion we had. My wife and I had that discussion. Like, is this, you know, how far do we carry this here? But we both agree. We put out an immense amount of eggs. In my family, we shy away from the candy because they're already getting some candy, and the girls don't eat a lot of candy. So my wife took all of the change and money out of the change jar that I had put in there for 12 or 18 months and put it into Easter eggs that we then gave to the girls. And
you got to use your debit card more so you don't have that change available.
Well, that's why there wasn't more change. I guess we're lucky. We're in a cashless society now because of, you know, COVID, which ironically we had the COVID running as well.
There's a change shortage. It's all on Dan's dresser.
There was a lot of it in a green jar. My brother came back. My brother was out of town and came back, and my mom said my brother and my sister-in-law looked great and healthy. They had a lot of color because they were in Mexico. They had a couple nightmarish flights, but they got there, they got back. And then the next day, their healthiness turned into one of them tested positive for COVID, which my brother and sister-in-law, they live in the city. And if you live in Philadelphia, apparently you test yourself every day is the best thing you can do. You just keep testing.
Just keep testing.
I would avoid that. That's like a gambling sort of problem. Like statistically, you're going to test positive. I would stop. But courtesy of that, we did get the COVID hangover now where apparently I'm not supposed to see any, you know, my girls aren't allowed to see the neighbor because she's in state tournament for gymnastics. So we can't see them. My Erin's mom, Cindy, she can't watch the girls, which is going to handicap me being able to do something I wanted to do on Wednesday because, you know, she might get COVID from the COVID that my sister-in-law probably doesn't have, that I definitely don't have. And then the other thing in the family dynamics is my family is set up very liberal and very conservative. That's the way it is. They're not crazy conservative, not crazy liberal, but not center. So I tried to explain to my brother that I didn't think masks were needed anymore, and I thought it was ridiculous. He works in the city school system and said they had always planned to go back to the mask, which I said in itself proved that you shouldn't be wearing the mask because how could you plan for not knowing the inevitable COVID return? Ironically, they got COVID, so it sucks, but I'm also mildly amused that I didn't get it.
As through their mask, huh?
Yeah, probably double masks, maybe.
Well,
sorry, Mike.
Yeah. You got that funny part of like relationships, and some relationships with certain family members are best to keep them just the holidays. You know, there's not, and some family members you see a lot and they're really close to you. And sometimes it's by blood, not really. But there's other family members that you just kind of like, okay, so that we're going to see them for 4 to 6 hours. And we enjoy waving goodbye as they leave type scenario.
Just good in small doses. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, Savannah is 17 months. Almost 18 months, I think, yesterday. And so this is our first experience with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, you know, Tamara is really trying to be healthy with her and, you know, eats all the organic stuff and the healthy things. And then, but magically on Easter, it looks like, you know, it might be October because there's that much candy floating around all of a sudden for one day. It's like, okay, you have a 1-day pass for candy. And even though she's not supposed to have it, she had to go out and find it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, 300 eggs for 4 kids and 1 baby that we had to hide. Yeah. And then these kids are not young. Like my nephews and nieces on that side are all teenagers. So it's not like we're like doing it for 5-year-olds and they're excited about it. This is like a sprint to see how many pounds of candy they can possibly get.
Candy fest. It is like trick or treating, except you don't have to leave your yard.
Right.
So
I told him I wanted to like put them in the basement and just dump it on the floor and just like watch it be a brawl. Cause I'm like,
a pinata might have been more fun, right? It just, yeah.
It would save me a lot of headaches.
Yeah, I'm picturing Ford at the top of the steps, like make it rain, but with candy, like just throwing Hershey bars.
He's just throwing Hershey bars and Cadbury bunny eggs,
just
and
throwing them off the thing. People die.
I was like, go ahead and put your bicycle helmets on, maybe some pads. We're gonna have like a full contact candy collection. But
Is Savannah allowed to eat the candy?
oh no,
Oh, just collect it.
Because I was going to say, Aaron doesn't change here. The girls can have candy, but it's like very small amounts of organic candy that costs an amazing amount of money.
Well, no, this is the best part. So, like, you know, for Savannah, it can't have any of this stuff. But for her nephews and nieces, she can give them enough that they'll have, like, you know, rip their teeth out with the amount of sugar that comes in. But it's like, oh, they're not my kids, so you can have more of it. Now, supposedly when they were younger, she didn't do that. Now they're teenagers, they're allowed to. But I mean, like, they're literally carrying like grocery bags full of candy out of the place.
So just to be clear, you're saying when they had baby teeth, they were going to lose. She didn't give them candy because it wasn't okay. But now that they have their permanent teeth that have to last them the next 60 to 80 years, that is okay to eat lots of candy.
Listen, sometimes in life, you don't try and learn the logic behind things. You just smile and go along with it because it's better for you.
Yeah. No, I understand that part. I was just calling it out because it's not me this time.
Yeah.
Whereas it sounded like it more your house, Brian, it was more of like a fight to the death because, like you said, like more people with less eggs.
Yeah. So we're my kids are older, right? They're all teens. So everyone participates, but there's like 8 kids that participate. We do like 65 eggs or something like that. But it's all measured. It's all like hey, each of you get to collect 8 eggs. Yeah, like don't take more than 2 or 3 of this color or whatever. My mom is awesome. So she prepares all this, and because the kids are older, she likes to do like gift cards and stuff like that. But it seems like it's a routine every year. We have to like how many eggs had the gift cards, and we know which shape are they, so that we're not one kid gets like 7 Starbucks eggs, and the other one gets like just chocolate. Yeah. So yeah. So and the Easter baskets, we do the Easter baskets with older kids. The Easter baskets are probably not as fun as with younger kids. We did this years ago where I had one of my brother's friends dress up as the Easter bunny and come jumping through our backyard, and I think Gavin was traumatized by it potentially.
That was a big bunny.
It was a big bunny. And we laugh about it now. I can recall Gavin standing at the sliding door and seeing this 5'5" pink bunny jump through our backyard with candy, and he's like, I can see his face. Immediately realizing that there's a human in there, and the bunny costume didn't quite fit Bryce's friend Mitch. So yeah, but it was it was good. But
I think maybe you should bring that back. At some point, maybe next year with the kids all grown and all adults, just all of a sudden have a pink bunny hop through the backyard.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe could you have the same guy do it? Is that possible?
It's possible. Yeah.
Right.
We can reach back out to Mitch and see.
That suit is really not going to fit now, I would bet.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Well, a second thing is you're saying about logic that defies reality. The Easter outfits, right? So,
oh yeah,
you got to have the proper Easter dress or the Easter thing, and it's truly amazing because you have to go shopping for this, and you have to get the proper shoes and the proper thing for Savannah. That she'll wear for about 1.4 hours, and will never be seen again.
Oh, you gotta have the Easter pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem with the Easter pictures in the Northeast is
you're still freezing.
It was like 37 degrees. Yeah. Like that's we everyone has their Easter dresses on, but they're also bundled up in their parkas and snow hats. So
Friday it was like 75 degrees. It was like a beautiful day,
nice,
and all of a sudden by Sunday we were like going to church and literally seeing snowflakes hit the windshield. I was like, that was 2 days ago, right?
Yep. Yeah. For whatever reason, Aaron wasn't as big this year on the dress. I think they had dresses. They put them on at some point, but Charlotte put on a white dress, and then she had like a little sweater thing she wore and whatever, but she put it on and then said, I'm going to go play in my mud kitchen out back. So I really questioned that because I don't even know that we got a picture of her. And then all of a sudden she headed outside to play in the mud in a white dress, which that made even less sense than the normal Easter pictures. I think there's a picture of her in a clean dress, but it's not clean now.
So she's like a Tide commercial.
Oh yeah. My girls are exactly like a Tide commercial. It's like they do try to figure out ways to get dirty. It's pretty unbelievable. They dig up my beds. I'm told that if I look where the mud kitchen is now, the entire side of my house is mud.
Oh,
that
nice.
they needed to clean their hands, is the way it was explained to me, because their hands were all muddy.
Right.
And so they just wiped it on the siding. Yeah.
That seems like the most natural place to wipe it
Yes.
off.
Yes.
Yeah. Not in the grass or.
No, we also had
dogs.
I don't know what you guys do with this. Like, it's not like the Thanksgiving football game, but they did play soccer. The girls all play soccer, and they played soccer out back. So that was pretty funny. They were in varying degrees of Easter dresses, playing soccer super competitively. And ironically, Ford will get a kick out of this. So I asked Mara why she has to be so obnoxious to her sister and be so competitive. And she said, I wonder where I get my competitiveness from. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. But why do we have to pick on our sister about it and be so mean to her? And she said, well, where do you think I get the meanness from? Which I think was intended to be my wife, because she looked at Erin when she said it. And as she did it, there's like a running Catholic joke that anytime something happens that is ironic, like karma, immediate karma, I always say, oh, there's Jesus. He showed up. So I told Mara Jesus showed up on Easter, because as soon as she said that Erin inferred that Erin was mean, she was like juggling the ball. And she somehow had like an ankle cramp, drilled it, and kicked herself right in the face. Like, didn't cause a bloody nose, but knocked herself over. And I just started laughing. And I was like, Jesus is here on Easter. He showed up just for you. Big mouth over there. But so it was a like wildly competitive soccer game, completely unnecessary. But we don't seem to be able to play it any other way.
Talking to your brothers and your sister about that, I can see 100% where that might have
Yeah.
come from.
Yes.
I mean, they have like not injuries to show for it, but they can tell you where the bruises were when they were playing with you for different sports back in the day. So,
yeah, one of the funniest stories we talked about, like, we'll give away Dan stories at some point, like we did the Ford thing. This is one of the funniest ones, and it's my dad and my sister are the main people involved. So, my dad was union and he worked for Verizon. So there was no cell phones, but he could climb a pole when he had a set, it was called, and he could just tie into anybody's phone line and then call. But for that to happen, my mom would have to page him, and then he would stop his truck, climb a pole, tie into someone else's line, and call. And you knew what was going to happen, right? Something bad was going to happen when he got home, because he wasn't going to be happy about this. But so that's my dad. So we were at home. I don't know where anybody else was, but I'm older than my brothers and sisters. And my sister would run her mouth. And so she said something to me. I don't remember what the fight was about, but she told me that I wouldn't put her in the dryer. Now, I don't know why I would have done that ever. But we were in the laundry room and there was an argument about something. I probably said, I'm going to shove you in the dryer. She said, you wouldn't dare shove me in the dryer. And of course,
challenge accepted.
I shoved her in the dryer. And my sister is a stubborn New Jersey girl. I love her, but she will tell you if she thinks she's right. From inside the dryer, I heard her say, you wouldn't dare turn it on. And Ford, I was like, boop, turn that thing on. I think it spun about 3 times before it started smoking and the belts burned off and the dryer blew up. And that was a call that was really unpleasant. I remember that call. My mom paged my dad into 911, old school, like 911. That means it's an emergency. He stops. And I can remember standing there watching her explain to him that I had blown up the dryer by putting my sister in the dryer and turning it on.
And yet they still come over for Easter.
Yeah, and they still come over. So Erin doesn't understand how my siblings can still like me after all I've done, but
they're family.
It's family.
Family can be very forgiving. Can be. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then once you start having stories, all those stories come back up, because it's like, oh, remember the time? It's like, oh boy, here we go down memory lane. It's going to be a long conversation.
There's also a lot of stories where I defended them against other people. So I think that's my saving grace, as I was protected them against other people. But yeah, so there's a Dan story for you. Turn the dryer on with my little sister in it.
Well, then you guys all were at different places, and you guys were at home too, but then you were at your family. But like the cooking of it too is a truly amazing experience, because it's not just like, go ahead, let's turn this on and cook. Everyone has to have a specific dish because it has to match the other dishes. And, Tamara tried sous vide this time for the first time, which is like cooking in a hot water bath, which is like a 12-hour process. So she was up at 4 a.m. to cook the meat. And kind of like, I know you do the smoking thing. And you're like, and to me, it's just the cost doesn't, it's delicious, but the 12 hours waiting doesn't really, the microwave works in 2 minutes type deal. So She does this like 12-hour
Are you
cook.
suggesting you would have preferred your wife to microwave dinner?
If it would have been less stressful for everybody, I probably would have been fine with that.
Okay.
Give me some
Okay.
Swanson meals and we'd be just perfectly happy because it's supposed to be about the people. It's not supposed to be about the food, but it's always about the
Maybe
food.
we put this podcast up at a point when we know Tamara is not within listening of this podcast. We'll just skip over this one.
Yeah.
Tamara, if you could please microwave holiday dinners from now on, that would be.
Maybe frozen meals, Swanson frozen
Yeah.
meals.
I think that she's going to be more mad just about that. I think you'd been better off with it. Just go to the green egg or the sous vide thing. You'd be better off.
Yeah. We our participation's easy, so we did the ham, and that full all in included us going to the honey baked ham store and purchasing a ham. So we do take the easier route there. Yeah.
Yeah, we switched from, I think Ford knows this, we switched from ham to turkey on Friday because I was asked to order a ham, which I did from honey baked ham because why wouldn't you do that?
Sure, of course.
Honey baked ham apparently has corn in it for some reason, and Charlotte can't have corn
Oh,
technically, although now she's allowed, but I'm not going to get into that with my wife about why we couldn't have that ham.
is that like in the
Corn syrup?
I imagine
sugar?
it's corn syrup in the
Corn-
glaze.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
get into it with Erin when she told me she was switching off of
I mean, it
the-
could have been corn-fed pig too, so it could be in there. Who
No,
knows?
well, that's
So-
let's not even get into Ford. Now, see, now you're going too
That's
far
a
down the logic
level
rabbit hole.
of digestion we have not considered yet.
We could,
And
yeah,
so-
Charlotte's doctor. We could also talk about the bucket thing because that's his that's his whole thing. You build up, you fill the bucket with things you're mildly allergic to, and all of a sudden your body reacts. Ironically, I think the guy's right because Charlotte's been much more healthy. But Charlotte's Easter last week was great because when she went to the doctor, they told her she could have corn again, but only in a limited time. Which Rita's is. I mean, Charlotte loves corn. She's like the kid that would buy street corn every day if allowed, but the poor kid would go to Rita's and everybody else would get Rita's. She can't get anything because it's dairy and corn, so she couldn't have either. So she was so happy after her last doctor's appointment because they said that. They said she could have corn. I was like, what do you think? She was like, that means I can. She started listing all the things she could have. She can have Chinese food again because that has cornstarch in it. She could have Rita's. She could have actual corn. She had a laundry list of things she could have. She's going to have to spread that over the next 10 years.
Yeah, no, it's an experience, right? I mean, it's some people don't have the family to have together, so sometimes you have to understand that. But at the same time, when you do have family, you enjoy them for those short doses, and then you're glad that maybe you'll see them again for Christmas or Easter, and the three holidays are the main ones, I guess you would say. You might see them on a cookout too, but there's sometimes that there's some people that it's twice a year is a really good time.
He's digging himself a hole here, man.
Right, yeah, it's getting worse. I mean, we got to wrap this one up.
We're going to have to wrap it up just for Ford.
for Ford's personal safety.
If I'm not on the next podcast, you'll know why.
All right, that's his family gatherings. Hopefully, Ford's extended family doesn't get to hear this because he only wants to see them once every 6 to 12 months.
He didn't say that, but I am telling you that they
and-
have family dinner every Sunday. So
Yeah. Every 6 to 12 months, and also if we could include more microwave meals, it'd be much better.
Swanson
Yeah.
dinners,
Swanson
no
dinners.
dresses, less eggs, and no people. Ford would love it.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
might be the hermit in the woods by the end of next week.
Ford's relocating to the garage.
Yeah, I have a guest room for you. You're welcome to stay there for a little while. I'm sure I'm going to get myself to your guest room at some point as well. So
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you again soon.